Today's normal was yesterday's crazy. Imagine with me that the year is 1979. I walk up to you, brimming with excitement, and announce that I have in my possession an electronic device that fits in the palm of your hand with no cord or long antenna attached that you can use to communicate with another person on the other side of the world. I call it, pause for effect, a cell phone. You would probably think I need to be locked in a cell somewhere because clearly I am crazy. Or let's say it's 1955 and racial tensions between black and white people in America are sky high. In some parts of the country, they're not even legally permitted to drink from the same water fountain. Imagine a young black man walking up to a crowd of white people and declaring that his children and theirs will one day go into business together, attend the same church, and maybe even, pause for effect, marry each other. That crowd wouldn't just think he was crazy, but would probably go crazy on him, yelling racial slurs and possibly attempting to end his life. How about we take it back a little further to 1899? You're planning to visit relatives across the country for the holidays. As you approach the train station for your week-long journey, I show up and confidently inform you that in just 4 years, someone will create a prototype for air transportation. It will be something like a giant metal bird that will take people wherever they want to go in a fraction of the time, and it will be called, pause for effect, an airplane. You would probably dismiss me as a nutcase before boarding your reliable and time-tested train, because you know such an idea is just plain crazy. What if I told you that these little stories are based on actual events? There was a time when no one had ever imagined a cellular phone, or racial integration, or an airplane. A parking lot full of cars, the app you use to order your lunch delivery, women voting in elections, the chair you're sitting in, social media. All of these were once considered crazy, until they actually happened. So many things that seem normal today were crazy 5 minutes ago. Okay, sometimes more than 5 minutes, but a lot can change in a very short amount of time. Once we recognize that, it's reasonable to acknowledge that many things that seem crazy to us right now could be normal in the future. Your student loan debt erased, or your 6-figure mortgage paid off seems crazy. Doctors going up to the ICU to tell the uncle you've been praying for that he's cancer-free and can go home seems crazy. The thought of your entire family accepting salvation and living for Christ sounds crazy. Getting your 10-year sobriety chip after abusing substances for decades sounds crazy. Leaving an inheritance of wealth for your great-grandchildren after you grew up in poverty seems crazy. Recovering from what seems like an unending downward spiral of depression to wake up with real joy sounds crazy. Finding out your wife is 12 weeks pregnant after a diagnosis of infertility seems crazy. Being the first in your family to graduate college when you're a single mom who barely finished high school seems crazy. Being truly loved in a healthy marriage after suffering years of verbal, physical, emotional, or sexual abuse sounds crazy. Forgiving your absent father sounds crazy. Leading a thriving megachurch with only 6 months of junior college education sounds just plain crazy. But it's only crazy until it happens. You're listening to this book because there is something in you that believes the impossible, that knows greater is inevitable, that trusts destiny is unavoidable, and that is intrigued by the possibility of a miracle. This is my life message because this is the life I'm living, one of crazy faith. God has asked me to do some crazy things, and I've seen crazy results because of faith. Through this book, I want to be your coach, your guide on this faith journey, by sharing spiritual truth and practical wisdom to help you gain new perspective on God's plans for you, a future you've barely dared to imagine. Now, don't get it twisted. I haven't done everything perfectly. The Bible says the steps of a good man or woman are directed by the Lord, Psalm 37:23. And let's just say I've missed some steps, but I've also learned a lot in the process. I wholeheartedly believe that life is more about progression than perfection. So let's be HOT, humble, open, and transparent with each other, and discover more of the great plan God has for us as we walk by faith. But first, let's back up a little bit and get to know each other.